Hi, Haley. Thank you for sharing your literacy need with me. So from what I understand, your need is some rhyming activities, for some students who are not quite getting what you're teaching in your tier one in your whole group, and you need some activities for tier two. So, um, I've listed a couple of instructional ideas as well as a couple of resources that I think would be really helpful for you. So, first with instructional ideas. Um, so, one of the big things that I thought of as soon as you mentioned rhyming was phonological phonemic awareness. Um, Rhyming is a part of phonological awareness. So, for students to be successful at rhyme, they do need to understand the parts of a word. So, maybe by going back and working with single sound blending, like k, at, and have the students work on blending those words. Once students have mastered that, you can move on to onset rhyme blending. There's a really good strategy in our textbook, Strategies for Reading Assessment and Instruction. Um, it's called the sing and out strategy. So you use a song like If You're Happy and You Know It, um, and you say, if you're happy and you know it, say the word, at, and they have to say the word. So that can be modified to do onset and rhyme, which I'll talk about next. But that would be a really good strategy. And songs and music are always a really good way for striving readers to connect those ideas in their heads. So the next one I want to talk about is explicitly teaching onset and rhyme. So I'm not sure if this is something you have done in your classroom, but another reteach of this would probably be helpful for those students. So teaching students about onset and rhyme helps them recognize those common chunks in the words. And when they can hear and recognize those chunks, it makes rhyming a little bit easier. We can help them break the words into onset, so everything before the vowel, and rhyme, which is everything after the vowel. So, for example, sleep could be broken into sleep, and then do another word, sheep, and have them notice that the rhyme is the same, and the onset is different. And there's a couple of different onset and rhyme activities that you can do. I did provide one for you, but I also linked a couple others. So I'll go over those when I get down there. But onset and rhyme is probably going to be the next step to take with them after you've really focused on that phonemic awareness. If onset and rhyme is a little too difficult and students just aren't there yet, an easy first step to have students do is blend words at the loudest part of the syllable. So like the loud vowel sound. You can stretch the vowel and say it out loud, and it can be easier for kids sometimes to break words um, after, like right before the vowel instead of after the vowel, like an onset rhyme. So blast could be blended easier as blast instead of blast, and they can hear it a little bit easier. So sometimes body coda blending is a little bit easier for students to pick up on rhyme. So that might be something that you try to do. So give them a couple words, stretch the vowel sound, and have them break it with the vowel sound in the first chunk. A next part would be using chants and songs. So repetitive chants and songs can help students develop rhyming skills and notice patterns without encouraging them to guess. So something big in rhyming is that students will sometimes just guess because they don't know. They'll say something that is similar to the word that you're asking them to say instead of thinking about the syllables and the sounds of the words. So a chant, for example, you might say bat, 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 cat, 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 and they just mimic in with you. And then chants and songs are really cool because you can add in those multisensory aspects that a lot of kids will hook on to really fast, like jumping and movements. So you might do a baseball bat swing for when you're saying bat and cat whiskers for when you're saying cat, and it helps students make those connections a little bit quicker. And then you can also incorporate magic spells to keep engagement up. That's an activity where you just create, like, so I know you had said you were doing pseudo words. This would be a great way to incorporate them to develop their own pseudo words and still practice rhyming. And then lastly, exposing students to rhyme through books. I know you said that you had encouraged them with nursery rhymes, but sometimes striving readers just need a little bit more exposure to books. So in small groups, read aloud a rhyming book and have students practice identifying those rhymes. One of my additional resources was a fun rhyming book list. So this one, it's from readingrockets.org. Fun with rhyming and word sounds, giraffes can't dance, cha-cha chimps, fox and socks. A lot of these books are really good books for rhyming. Sheep in a Jeep is a good one. So this is just one list of books. I'm sure you could find plenty more, but this would be a start for you. But exposing kiddos to more books will help them pick up on it as well. And then you can incorporate all of those other activities too. So some additional resources I wanted you to have. This is an Onset Rhyme House game. It's from the Florida Center of Reading Research. Florida Center of Reading Research is a really great resource. They provide a lot of phonics and phonemic awareness games for intervention. So this specific one is this one here. And students learn to segment, blend, and match onset and rhyme in words. So they have a little house like this, and they have a lot of cards, like it provides you with the house and with all of the picture cards. And you put one card in the top of the house, and they have to find the picture cards that match the picture in the top of the house. So the top one is cat. This one is hat. The rhymes match. So when you're talking about onset and rhyme, this would be a great game to incorporate. And then you can print out one for each student. Each student gets a different word, and they all have to find a different onset rhyme that matches. So they even say like header. It's a really great resource, especially for a small group intervention. So that's one. My next resource was I just linked the Florida Center for Reading Research. I just linked their rhyme intervention games. So it's under kindergarten and first, and they have all kinds of phonological awareness games. But all of these games here are rhyming games. So you can click on any of these games. This one, I'll open this one, and it'll take you to something similar that I just showed you. It has all the directions, all the things that you need, and it keeps rhyming interactive, and it keeps it fun. And it's a lot of different activities that you can do in your small group. So this would be really helpful after teaching them onset and rhyme, and to get them to practice with rhyming. And then I have linked a lesson here. It's a generating rhymes lesson. It's from readwritethink.org, which is the National Council for Teachers Who Teach English. It is their website. This one it's a lesson. It's got a game in it. And it tells you what to do, and it's got some featured resources. If you wanted a model lesson of what it might look like, this might be helpful to look at. And then I already pulled up the rhyming book list, but all of those resources I hope are very helpful, and it should provide you with some good intervention activities to do with those students who still need some support. So for our coaching plan, I think a good first start would be to collaborate and brainstorm together on what rhyming strategies and activities you would like to implement into your small group, since you know your kids. What is going to work best for them, do you think? And how are you going to implement them? And then after we discuss that, I can help you develop those resources as needed, model instructional strategies if needed, or observe you teaching them, whatever we decide would work best. And then from there, you would implement those instructional strategies and take some data, formative data, observational data, and we can meet to discuss what you have collected on your group of students and then reflect on that data and develop next steps from there. So I hope that this is helpful for you. And if you have any questions about any of the resources provided, please let me know. Hope you're having a great day.